Hello everyone, welcome back. It's good to have you join me again, and of course it's Angela, and welcome to my channel. So today I thought I'd do a little craft along session with me and have a little chat with you on what I was doing while I was supposed to be resting over the Christmas season. I never rest, so that's just me, but I had a lovely time and I thought I'd just craft and do some stuff and chat with you as we go. So today I'm going to make a nice little project. This can be used for any theme, but because I'm just about done with my Christmas journal, I wanted to share with you a very little easy little project that, as I say, you can do with one page, especially leftover pages, and it's really great for a journal or even a happy mail. So this is what I've done. So I've taken one of my pages that are remaining in my tray. This is just one of the background pages. It has got this on the back. It doesn't need to have that on the back. It's just because it's remainder and something that I was working on. So don't worry about it. It just needs to have some kind of a print, or even music paper sheet would work fine. This is an A4 sheet, but it's going to work perfectly well with a 8.5 by 11 inch US letter size as well. All right, so that doesn't matter. Right, what I've done here is, you can see, the first thing I did was I folded it in half. So you want to just match up those corners there and fold it in half. All right, so that's the first thing. Then what I did was I went and measured approximately 2 inches on from the one side here. That doesn't have to be exact, but as a guide, 2 inches from one of these sides here is going to be fine. All right, the other one will be slightly longer, I think 2 1/4, but that's not going to matter either. All right, so you want to do that. You want to score that and fold it over on one of the sides. Doesn't matter which one. Okay, so see, really easy here. And then what I want you to do is to not score, but match just 1/4 of an inch over there. I want you just to lap that over 1/4 of an inch. So you want to just do, or slightly less even is fine. You want to get that like that. And then what I did is I first used my finger and then I used my bone folder just to make sure that it looks like that. So you've got like a tube. We're going to glue down the one side here. So let's do that. Right, so what can I tell you about last year? Well, I didn't rest much, that I can tell you. I was busy as a bee, I really was, but all good things. And I think I was exhausted after all of that because I cleared out my garage, which was a humongous job. I had my son to help me with that, bless him. It took us 10 hours. I've just got a single garage, but I think here in the UK we don't use garages to store cars. First of all, they're very narrow. You have to have a tiny car to fit that in there, but it's a great storage area for all the tat that you think you're going to use and you never do. And I do this on a regular basis, but I wanted to repurpose that whole room and really give it a good sorting out. Right, before I carry on, we've got your half the way fold mark. We've glued that bit there, so you've got like a tube. You can stitch across there if you want, I'm not going to. And now I want you to fold it up with the overlapping side on the inside and without the seam on the outside. You want to just join those two up like this. Okay, there we go. So do that and then just take your bone folder and get that like that. Okay, so you're going to have a bit like this and a bit like this. You can either put some Velcro dots on there, which is what I'm going to do. So let me grab that quick. Right. So I've got my little Velcro dots here, which I've had for eternity, but they do come in handy. And as I say, you could just glue down here, but I'll tell you why I'm not going to do that. So I'm just putting that one on there and then the fluffy one on top of it. Now these are already glued on the other side, but that's great. So you want to just press that like that, and that's going to hold it up in that position. And the reason why I'm going with the Velcro dots and not gluing it is because you can open that and write some secret notes or stick a a bit of a tea stained piece of paper there, or background paper, and make some notes there, and who's going to be any the wiser, you know. And I love a secret spot, you know I do. Right, so that's what we've got there. Okay, so I've done a similar thing to this before. So yeah, I managed to get everything sorted, donate a lot of stuff that I could, because there was lots of things in there that really didn't need be thrown out, like crockery, or I've updated the kettle, but there's nothing wrong, you know, with the kettle, so it's still in its box. So I did donate that stuff, but a lot of stuff that I needed to throw away that was never going to be used or good for anybody. And you know that was 2 vanfuls of stuff that I had to take to the recycling tip. It was unbelievable. Lots of wood, because I had my kitchen done about 4 years ago, or nearly 5 years ago. Can you believe it? I'd kept all the offcuts, you know, that I thought I was going to make use of, and never did, as we do. Anyway, I'll stop talking for a bit. Okay, so we've got this bit here. Now I want to make a little bit of a lid. So I've taken the background page. This is a great page to stick behind here. You know, if you cut out a piece and put it there, that's great to write over if you want, or you can write it directly on there. You don't have to put anything there. Right, what I want to do now is I've taken some of the red paper, and I've just measured it slightly longer. So ever so slightly, we're talking like a hair's breadth wider than this piece here. Now it'll be different if it's A4 or US. Mine is just a hair's breadth over 4 inches, all right? But yours might be slightly narrow if it's US. It doesn't matter, but it's really minuscule. All right, so this bit here is just a little bit wider, and I've made it 2/3 of the length here. Now I might trim that off, and this one is, let's see, 4 1/4 inches long. All right, so you want a piece like that, so 4 by 4 1/4, and another piece that I'm going to stick on the back here. All right, now before I stick on that bit, and this is the bit that I always forget to do, I want to just take one of my any size punch here, and any piece of random paper that I can find. Let me see, I'll take a smaller punch, and I've got this little strip here. I just want to cut out 2 circles quickly. Oops. They're jumping. This is just to reinforce my paper. Now I don't know what's happening with my punch today. It's the first time it's done that. Right, and this is just paper. Right, there we go. I'll look at that later. Right, all I want to do now is I want to put on some little circles. I want to make, you know, I want to wind this around. I've forgotten what it's called. So I'm going to establish where those need to go up front on the lid. All right, so I'm using this to reinforce the paper. I am using the 160 or the 60-pound weight paper, but you know, I just like to make it a little bit stronger, so make sure I've got it the right way. I'm going to get that pretty much down around that area, so I'm just going to turn that over and guesstimate it, so about there. It doesn't matter what paper you stick there, that's just to reinforce that paper. And I'm going to do the same on the, well, let's just put 2 on top of each other. I think that'll be great. So this is going to make it nice and firm, so that your little brad, when you put it through, is not going to, you know, tear through your paper. That's the reason I'm doing that. Okay, now move some stuff out the way. I've got 2 little brads, tiny little red brads here. Bigger ones are fine too. And I've cut out and put onto card these 2 little goodies. These came from my mini journal kit, and my next video, well, I think there will be a video on Tuesday probably, or somewhere. I'm going to show you what I've done with my mini journal kit, using it in a completely different way, most pieces, in my Christmas journal. All right, so I'll share that with you. I did a similar thing with my birds and bees, and then I thought, well, maybe I should share that. Right, what I want to do now is I want to find the center of this. probably better to do it this way so that I'm not swayed with all the stripes. Okay, I think that looks right. So I'm going to make a hole there, and then I just take this one and put it on top. Then it's just a case of putting your little brads. And these are small, so I'm struggling to get them fitted through. Right, so I managed to sort out the garage, and then I had a little bit of a tidy up in the bedrooms, and my decided to rearrange the whole of upstairs. I want to swap over and move this craft room into my bedroom, which is a much bigger room. Well, not much, but a fair size. I need the extra crafting space, so I'm relegating myself, I should say, into this room, which is a fair size room, and I'm moving myself into the room next door. And boy, oh boy, was that a job in itself. If any of you have done anything like that, you can just imagine. So there was more sorting, more all of that had to be redone. Oh my gosh, I did make a rod for my own back, didn't I? Right, so I'm going to stick that in just there. So I'm going right through those little goodies, and I'm going to now stick that through. We've got paper to reinforce it, just like that. And I can now lie this flat. Now the way I like to get that, I mean, you can get it flat with your fingers, but ultimately flat is when you take your bone folder and press it there. If you look there now, you can see that is pretty flat. All right, so there's that one. This is going to make, I'll show you what we're going to do with this. This one we're going to put onto here. Now we can only do that once we've affixed this one. Right, now it's time to put on your backing piece. I'm using this background paper. I'm going to just turn it around. That's now the front. There we go. I think that looks about right. I think I cut it for this way actually. Yeah, that looks better. So I'm going to just use my glue. Now I am going to stitch around the edge here. So, you know, don't feel you need to do that. It's just my personal choice. I like the stitched edge look. Now, if there are any bits that are coming over the edge, which I don't think there will be, they will on this side. I can just trim that off nicely. All right, so yeah, I managed to sort out, you know, reduce the clothes. Does everybody else hang on to their clothes? My daughter's the same. She says she doesn't like donating or getting rid of any clothes. She likes to hang on to them. I don't know why. She seems to think they've got memories, which is true. But I mean, there's only so many clothes you can hang on to when you, you know, as you get older. I mean, I'd need a whole house just for that if that was my outlook. So I did get rid of a fair amount of clothes that there was no ways I was going to use those in a hurry. Right, I'm going to just round these corners. Now remember, if you don't have a punch, you can always, or if your punch is not looking so sharp, that one I bought second hand, you can always use the side of your distress ink, you know, the lid. And I'll show you what I mean. If you take the base of that and you put it over there, you're going to get the same shape, and you just draw around it and cut with it, your scissors. All right, so that'll work. Now I'm going to just take that and get rid of the white edges, which I don't like. And then I'm going to stitch with my sewing machine. Now, you'll say, well, Angela, you've got this brad in the way here. Well, when you come with your sewing machine foot and it comes to this bit, just stop it and manually turn the wheel, on the machine wheel on the right, and go slowly over there, and you'll be able to do it without going skew. All right, so there we've got that, and it's nicely lined, and we are good to go. So I'm just going to give this a little bit of an inking. Yeah, so lots of clothes donated, lots of things repurposed. I feel relieved. I even packed my Christmas tree away before the 1st Jan. I wanted a nice clean slate, and it was really lovely. Okay, let me do that and then I'll come and tell you about Christmas. All right, so here you can see I've just stitched around the edges there, and you see it's quite all right if you just go slowly and then round the wheel, turn the wheel manually over any bit, even eyelets, and it works well. All right, now I'm just going to take I've stuck on some double-sided tape, and I'm just taking my bone fold and smoothing out the stitches with the edge of my bone folder, and then they lay nice and flat. Okay, so that's all ready to go. Now with this double-sided tape, I want to stick it to the underside here. This is the back of my little goodie. So now I want to try and what I want to do is sort of edge it over a little bit. So I'm just got my fingers in there and sort of just rounding it. I'm not pressing it flat, I'm just rounding it. You can even take your glue to do that if that helps, or even your art glitter glue, which is slightly narrower than my glue stick. But if you've got the thinner glue stick, the smaller size, that would work really well. All right, so I just had the postman at the door, so I'm back now. Right, so we're turning this over, and there we go. We're going to have like a little bit of a lid thingy, which will flatten a bit when you put it on into your journal, obviously. So what you want to do is you want to just establish here how far down you want this to come down. So I want it to be a bit higher, so I'm just trying to get that nice and flattened up there. Now I'm going to stick it onto the back, so just need my pokey tool. That's the one. Okay, so you can just lift that down and push your finger there. Right, we've got that nicely done, and now we want to bend that down a little bit, so you've got a bit of about an inch of a space there. It's easier once you've got it on to see where you want it, so that's great. And then what I thought I'd do is I just want to grab a page here. Got everything clipped where I want it, so if I just take this is where I'm going to put it. So it's at the back of the hedgehog signature, and I want to put it there, so I want to make sure it's going to fit onto the page, which it is, so that's good. Yeah, okay, got about an inch there because I'm going to put something inside. So there we go, and then can take the other little oney and my you want to just line that up here. So again, I'm using my grids. I mean, these boards are lovely. I want to keep that quite high up. I don't want it to be too low, and I'm going to have that one going that way. I mean, these turn around, so it's not the end of the world. And then I'm going to have this one go about there. So just going to make a little dot. All right, and then again the same thing. Let's hope this is being better behaved. I just want to take a piece of paper and one. I mean, you could do it with card if you wanted to, but I don't want it to be sticking out too much. So I just got my paper here, scrappy bits, sticking these two together. I'm going to make a little hole in here. I've got my finger through here, just so that I can feel where I've got to position this. So do this carefully. Right, so get that right to the edges there. Okay, we can see the little hole. I'm going to put it down there and stick it over. That's better. Right, so you see it's on there. That's just, again, to reinforce the paper. Now you can take your little spongy bit. This is just a piece of packaging that came with one of some fancy brads I bought long ago when I was doing my ancestral books. Right, so you want to just get that through there again. Okie dokie, so there we go. We've got that there, that closes there, that's going to go down, and we can put on our little strings. So I'll get to that. So I'm going to just use, I've got these here, this is just like butcher's twine, and I'm not going to make it too long. Just going to chop it off over there like that. And my desk looks like an absolute mess. Right, so I was telling you about all of the lunch, the Christmas dinner. So we had lovely Christmas dinner, which I was cooking, and I prepped the night before, so everything was ready to go from scratch. So I was quite proud of myself. I did use my roasting disposable foil trays, which was the first time I've ever used those, and I must say they were really handy. So thank you for encouraging me to do that. My daughter did help me with the washing up, so she did the washing and I did the drying. But you know, you don't want to be standing there forever with all the dishes that need to be, the roasting pans that need to be scrubbed. And what would happen? The dishwasher packed in. You know, that's just Murphy's Law, isn't it? The dishwasher decided, right, today's the day, and we had to do it all by hand. So I am extremely grateful that those pans were there and I had gone for them. So I dried and she washed, so that was good. And we played games. We had lots of fun while I was even cooking, because it was just a case of putting it in the oven and taking it out for the most part. I made the dinner, and I have a nice open plan kitchen, living room, dining room area. So on the breakfast bar, I was able to, we had the game set up and we were having a nice laugh, and it was amazing. It was just a fantastic, best time to be with my family, my kids. It was lovely. Right, I'm sticking, this is one of my little bits from my ephemera and sentiments pack. So I'm going to just stick this over here. I'm going with the blue and the red. I love this combination, this aqua blue and the red. So that's going to go on there. And then I have just got a couple of bits over here. So I've got quite a few pieces, die cuts that I cut, and I'm going to just arrange them somewhere. So I'm going to just chat while we stick these on. Right, so what else? So we had a lovely dinner. Nobody had to rush off anywhere till much later. So my son arrived at like 8:20 a.m., which was unheard of. I mean, normally I've got to beg him to, you know, get up and arrive, but he's in his own place. So he eventually arrived, and, well, he caught me just out of the shower. So I was like, wow, that's quick. So yeah, that was an early start. He came with loads of presents. We had a coffee. Everybody sort of, my daughter wasn't quite awake, but she, you know, she loves Christmas, so she was up and about, and we all had the Christmas music on and had lots of laughs and giggles and got spoiled rotten. So yeah, it was absolutely fantastic. Best day, best Christmas in forever. So yeah, it was just amazing. Right. Oh, flick that off there, why don't you? All right. Yeah, we had lots of giggles and laughs and reminiscing and all sorts of lovely things. Now, while I'm sticking this down, don't forget, don't be fazed by when things go off the edge of the page. You know, that doesn't matter. I quite like that. It sort of blends, to me, it blends in the page into the ephemera bit that you're making, so I quite like it. Right, I've got different greens and things going on here, but that's okay. I'm just going to stick them as I go. Right, so we're going to go up to that point with the glue. Yeah, what else happened? I've been working on my kit. I am almost ready to share that with you. So I need a few more days or so, possibly another week. I was thinking probably closer to the end of this month. you know, we're all trying to recover after the costs of Christmas anyway, so I'm sure that you'll probably agree. I do have a nice bundle and some other things coming as well, which I have been collecting, hence I need to wait on a little bit longer, so bear with me there. Right, I've got a little snow covered one. I don't know if I want all of these, but I'm quite liking this sort of collection that's going on here. These come from Garden Greens and, you know, Holiday Greens, I think. Those are the ones I'm using with all sorts of. This one's a bit glittery. It was just this one that had a peel, you know, peelable back. That's it. Now, what I did over here as well is I took a little bit of the fabric that we had. So remember this one I said I'd use. We've used it for a couple of things. Now what I did here was I cut a strip of 8 inches long. All right, 8 inches in length by 1 inch. Now because I tried doing it with folding it over, but it's too thick. So on the one edge, I have just used my pinking shears and cut off the edge there, which I like. And then on the other, it's just straight cutting. You can cut it with your pinking shears if you want. Then I have just hand stitched that around with a little running stitch close to the edge, as you can see. And I've pulled it in together. All right. I've sewn it down there as well, just on the two seams together, and tuck that underneath. Okay, so that's what you've got, and I'm going to place that over here, and that's why I'm not quite sure where I want the red one to go. All right, so that's going to go like that. We are going to move it towards the bottom here, and I think that one we're going to just get it lapping over there. I'll do that once I've got this one together. So that's the first thing. Then I've just taken some glitter paper. You can take any paper that you have. It doesn't have to be glitter paper. And I've just cut out one of the Sizzix snowflakes. All right, that's going to go onto the middle here. So I'm going to use my 3-in-1. Let's use the Sugar Bell. I have topped this up now. So I'm going to use this to stick this down, and I think I'm going to get it in place first. So let's see, we want it like this, and I don't mind that it's peeking off the end. So I'm going to put the glue onto the actual page itself like that. Gosh, it's getting quite overcast here, quite gloomy, so I hope that it's not too dark. I mean, it's only 1 o'clock. Right, we're going to stick this down now. So there we go. I think that's where I want it. And I love how it's going to tie in the red and the blue all together. All right. And now we're going to stick our little snowflake on the top here. So a nice amount in the middle. Yes, so we will be having a nice kit. And I love this one. I hope that you're going to love it too. And I have a couple of other things with the Valentines. I had the suggestion from a few people, so thank you guys for your feedback. I value that, to do a Galentine's rather than a Valentine's. So I'm going to make it more love orientated, not necessarily refer to Valentine's on the pages, but maybe on the sentiments and such like things, so that you can use it for love. Valentine's, you girls are the best, aren't they? Together, can't match the great rapport that you have with another woman. I think it's just the ultimate. Right, then I've taken one of my buttons, and this comes from my button pack, and I love these, and I'm going to use these a lot when I do my next bit, so these have really been useful. I'm going to stick this on here. Now I've just stitched some embroidery thread through my buttons. I like them to have some thread in them, and I'm going to just stick this onto this bit over here. You see, this has gone nice and flat now, so that's looking great. Come on, glue. Just put some nice amount of glue there and stick the button on in the middle. There we go. Right, I think we're just about done with that. I'm going to just leave that over there. Right, so there we go. I've got that. Before I close this up now, which I have already, but I just need to undo that. What I did then was I took 2 of my mini pages, so one set of mini pages. These were together, I think. Yeah, like that. And I've just cut on inside the frames, and I've backed that onto card. So this is recycled packaging. That's another thing I love about Christmas, is holding onto all the bits that I can use in journals. It gives me great ideas too. All right, so I've put in a little tab at the top with an eyelet and a ribbon, and I'm going to just put these in here. Now, the reason why I thought this would make a great addition to a Christmas journal is you don't have to put in cards. You know, this is going to make a great storage space, not only for some details in here for writing. You can also stick photos on here. You can also put Christmas photos on here as well. All right, so in these 2 pockets, you've got plenty space to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick that in there. I'm going to stick that in there. And we have made this a little bit higher, as I said, so that you're not squashing the tabs or the bows. And now you're ready to close it all up like that. Yeah. You could add beads on here as well, or charms, you know, and how pretty is that? All right. So now it's just a case of fitting this into the journal page. So that's what we are going to do there. And I think I'm going to grab hold of my stencils quickly and just put a little bit of stenciling on here. Okay, so I'm just using one of my Christmas stencils. This is a Tim Holtz one that I got. You can find this on my Amazon favorite tools list. It was really a great one. I'm using here my Distress Oxide Festive Berries. Right, so I've just got one of my small little ones here, smallest little brush, and I've clipped it in place here only because I have got loads of clips of things I'm going to be putting into this journal, which is just how I go about planning what I want where. So I'm just putting in a little bit here, not too dark. You can make it darker or as light as you like. I'm sort of making it darker on the ends and fading it in like that. All right, so there's that, and then possibly a little bit over here as well. I'm going to stick my little pockets on that side, but let's just take that off for the moment and make this a flatter surface. I like sticking it on a flat surface like that. There we go, and that's going to look amazing. Right. Sugar bell thingy, and I'm going to get it all glued up. Right, let's stick it down. Now again, you can open this up, and here, oh, there's a little dog running on the field, and this is a great time that you can just get in there and squash it flat. All right, and there we go, and then close that up, and there we have it. All right, guys, that was a nice little quick project, wasn't it? All right, everybody, I managed to work out the order. What am I like? Okay, so I've got a little video I'll share with you on Sunday. I'm going to show you a little bit of how I decorate the page edges. So come and join me for that. And on the other side of this one, I am going to put this on here. The new kit will arrive very soon, so just give me a little bit more time there. I hope to have that ready very shortly. It's just finishing touches now, and I want to just get it right. And so I hope that you are excited about having a look at that. In the meantime, I'm going to share with you a couple of things that I'm going to be adding to, you know, generic journals and things. All right, everyone, take good care of yourselves. I hope that you've enjoyed this time today with me. I always enjoy myself with you guys. Look out for my video coming soon. Some exciting things and some exciting projects on their way. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys all very soon. Bye bye.